Okay. Well, here we go. Looks like everything's working. Hopefully. Maybe. Unless there's something else. Looks like we're okay. Uh, unless I can see myself. Oh no. Feels like. Okay. Well, oh. There might actually be a problem. Maybe not. Who knows? Um, no, it looks like we're okay. Well, if we have any problems, we'll solve them. But for now, I'm gonna say hi, everyone. Today is gonna be our first day looking at Ruby. Now, there's a lot of. I was going back and forth on whether or not I should even look at Ruby or not. And I was looking at my resume and I was like, hey, I'd like to put Ruby on here. And I'd like just to take on something completely new. So is why we're going to start our Ruby journey today. And if you'd like to follow along, great. If you'd like to use this as a little thing to start Ruby with, great. I am by no means a Ruby expert. I've been working with some different programming languages, JavaScript, Python, a little bit of PHP mostly. And we're going to just go on a little bit of a Ruby journey, see where it goes, see where it takes us. So Ruby is supposedly a programmer's best friend. And today we are going to go through in this order. We're going to try Ruby in the browser, which supposedly is a 30-minute expedition. We're going to do the Ruby documentation in 20 minutes, and we're going to look at reading Ruby from other languages. So, and this is what's a little funny is that I was reading time and time and again that Ruby is a dead language. No, Ruby's dead. Everyone thinks Ruby's dead. Nobody uses Ruby. Rails is dead. Meanwhile, Rails went through its like last update last week. Literally, what was it? 5 days ago, they've released the new version of Ruby. So, yeah, uh, never believe the hype, friends. Never believe the hype. So we're gonna do this in two different ways. So first, we're gonna go do Ruby in 20 minutes and read through this documentation. Then we are going to do Ruby in the browser and go through this little tutorial they have of introducing us to Ruby. And then we're gonna read the Python and C, Python, and PHP, what to expect. Right? I don't know if anyone knows Perl, but we're gonna get. And I've never done Java before, so we're gonna look at it from C. We're gonna look at it from PHP. We're gonna look at it from Python, and then look at this as well. Um, and that'll be probably it for just going through documentation for today. I don't intend on bringing us into a IDE right now because I don't really want to. I really want to see whether or not an IDE would be very good for stream or not. But for now, we're just going to do stuff in the browser and have some fun. So first, let's go into Ruby in 20 minutes. I'm actually going to try to time this and try to make it a 20-minute 25, 21, the TV series apparently. 20, 20, 24 hours ago, I want to be sedated. That's great. We're already only 5 minutes into stream and I'm already singing, so this is great. So I'm going to set 20 minutes of this timer, and I'm going to just read aloud our introduction to Ruby and try to be as fun as possible with it. Apparently, we can get through this in 20 minutes, so let's give it a shot. If in 20 minutes I'm not done, this will let me know. And yeah, let's go. So, Ruby in 20 minutes. This is a small introduction to. This is a small Ruby tutorial that should take no more than 20 minutes to complete. it makes the assumption that you've already have Ruby installed. If you do not have Ruby installed on your computer, install it before you get started. Well, we're already off to a great start here. Yeah, now I'm seeing the problem here. So we are gonna skip this and do it tomorrow when I have a better browser control. So we're gonna actually then go try Ruby. That was a great way to start. So I have this in Japanese because I speak a little Japanese. Hi, Nihongo hanashiteru kedo. We don't need this right now. Yeah, we're gonna leave you for now. So, got 30 minutes? Give Ruby a shot now. Interestingly enough, I did this during a work meeting about 2 years ago. It was a really bad work meeting. It was a pretty terrible job, and I probably shouldn't have done this, but this is one of the impetuses to actually giving Ruby a try because, hey, I tried it once. I might as well give it a good old college try. Hydration is terribly important, especially these days. Eventually, I want to get like a dune suit where I can just have the water going into my nostrils. The programming must flow. So, got 30 minutes? Give Ruby a shot right now. Ruby is a programming language from Japan, which is revolutionizing software development. I wonder when this was written. The beauty of Ruby is found in its balance between simplicity and power. You can type Ruby code in the editor and use these buttons to navigate. Run, copy, next, back, right. Okay, pretty standard stuff. 3 times, 3 dot times, do, print, welcome, print. What up, my homies? Spell homies right, English teacher. Loading. Come on, output. What up, my homies? What up, my homies? This should be a question mark, right? What up, my homies? All right. So let's get into it. So the editor window in which you type Ruby. This is the editor window in which you type Ruby code. Hit the run button and watch it run. For example, try typing some math. I don't know. Let's go 7 multiplied by 7. This is a 9. I was an English teacher, not a math teacher. 9 times 9, 81. You did a bit of math. See how that answer popped out? Yes, I do. Right. Now we can copy paste, but who has time for that nonsense? Now Ruby recognizes numbers and mathematical symbols. You could try some other math out like this. Let's do this. Let's do minus and then let's finally go divided by 444. And we only got 1. So I wonder why. Did you notice that if you typed more than one formula, you only saw one answer for the last one? What's going on? To make this website easier to use, I've told Ruby to copy the result of your program. I've told Ruby to copy the result of your program to the output screen. I gotta learn to recite better. So when you type a formula, you get all the results, but only the last result, and only if the output is still empty. So when you enter 2 or more formulas, Ruby only showed you the result of the last formula. Of course, you have the power to control the screen. Just type puts before each formula with a space between. Puts means put something on the screen. Interesting. So put, pit them against each other. Minus 3,000. Yeah. 30,000 minus put 225. 224. 225 multiplied by, let's say, 502. And then let's say puts, we need the S. Puts 88, let's say divided by 69. Ooh, interesting. Well put. Sure, computers are handy and fast for math. Let's move on. What? Want to see your name reversed? First type your first name in quotes like this. Jimmy. People like to call me Johnny sometimes. Well, there's only two people probably alive today who can call me Johnny. All right, so I'll type in the name of one of those people who could call me Johnny. And then yours. Okay. You have used the reverse method on your name. By enclosing the names in quotes, you have made a string. Then you call the reverse method, which works on strings to flip all the letters backwards. Congratulations. Now, let us see how many letters are in your name. All right, well, let's use a different name. Bartholomew. I feel like that's correct. 10. Yeah, Bartholomew. Bartholomew is the way you spell that name. I was almost right. Whew. That's a Bartholomew, huh? Let's run that line. It's only 11. On repeat. Right. Now you probably are wondering what any of this is good for. Why isn't that a question? Well, I'm sure you've been to a website that screamed, "Hey, your password is too short." See, programs use that simple .length code. Watch this. Let's multiply your name by 5. Well, let's use a different name. Yeah, I know this kid. At least I talked to him on the phone once. Frank. Okay. Hey, summary number 1 already. Let's look at what you've learned in the first minute. This is probably more than a minute by now. The editor. Typing the code in the editor and clicking on run gives you an answer at the output window. Almost all code gives you an answer. Oh, it gives you a result. I don't know about an answer. Numbers and strings. Yeah, that's pretty standard stuff. Right, methods. You've used the English language methods like reverse and length. The symbolic methods of multiplication like the multiplication method. Methods mean action! This is the essence of your learning. Taking simple things, toying with them, and turning them into new things. Feeling comfortable yet? I promise you are. Okay, let's do something uncomfortable. Try reversing a number. This likely won't work. Let's do 30 million. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Reverse. Everybody clap your hands. Nope. Not gonna work. Stop. You're barking mad. You can't reverse the number 40 or 60 million. I guess you can hold your monitor and up to the mirror, but reversing the number just doesn't make sense. Ruby has tossed an error message. Ruby has tossed you an error message, maybe. Ruby is telling you that there is no method reverse for numbers. There's no method called reverse for numbers. Maybe if you turn the number into a string. Okay, so there we go to string. Let's go to string of 500 billion. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So one thing I don't really like about programming, can't use some more natural language type stuff like commas for numbers. I understand why, but still. Not what? No. Reserve. Reverse. Learn how to spell. There we go. Apples and bowling balls, Tony. Apples are different from oranges. So are bowling balls. The numbers are different from strings. Well, you can use methods for any object in Ruby. Some methods only work on certain types of things. Okay. But you can always convert between different types using Ruby's 2 methods. Ooh, our good friends types. 2 underscore s converts things into strings. 2 underscore I converts things into integers, numbers. 2 underscore a converts things into arrays. What are arrays? Well, we don't know. They're a list. They are paired by brackets. So let's see. Can I be a little cheapskate and go Mary? To this I don't actually know. Mac. Okay, so what do we do about booleans? 2, 5, 6, 8. Set 8. Let's run. Yep. There's our array, folks. Standing in line, lists, arrays. We're doing the Python thing, are we? Are things in the same order? Or in some order? If you guys have been watching this, probably have some sort of form of dyslexia. I don't think so, but there's probably the dyslexia people are yelling at me right now, but probably just more I'm tired. Like standing in a line for popcorn. You're behind someone and you wouldn't dream of pushing them aside, right? Oh, here we go. And the guy behind you, well, you've got a close eye on him, right? Here's a list for you. Lottery numbers. The Pennsylvania Lottery. 12. 47. 35. Try adding a number to the list. Type a comma after 35, followed by a number. The space is optional. Anybody who is not from Delaware County in Pennsylvania does not understand the song that I'm singing. That's okay. Yeah, we can just see what we kind of get here. And it's nice to see that you put that 0 there and it just gets 0 out of 4. Now list of the lottery numbers. Which one's the highest? So let's just do random numbers. First thing that pops into your head. Stop typing 5. 42. 69. 420. -4. 20. Let's add a. Okay, and then max. Ooh, well, obviously. Right. Tucking a list away. Okay, so this is how we create a variable. Good. But it's annoying to have to retype the list every time. You need it, isn't it? Let's save that our numbers inside a ticket. All right. Ticket master, matter master. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Shamil. All right, let's run that. Right. Now type ticket. Why? Why not just? Because I said ticket master. They just want the word ticket, so that means this is hard coded. All right. Thanks a lot. Okay, so this is how we create a variable. Save to tucked away. Why not safely tucked away? I am just giving Ruby decent rewrite advice. You've hung on to your lotto ticket, tucking them away inside a variable called ticket. But any other name, like Jimmy List, would do just fine. Programming, you will discover, is mostly about working with variables. I suppose. Let's put your lotto ticket numbers in order. But how? How about? Let's put your how about. What do you mean? Let's put your lotto numbers in order. How about? How about we put your lotto tickets in order? Okay. All right. You had a list. You sorted the list. Ticket variable is now changed. You've now noticed that the sort method. Why is it? There should be an explanation point there. Just we're excited. The sort method is a big bright exclamation at the end. A lot of times, Ruby methods shout like that if they alter the variable for good. It's nothing special, just a mark. All right, interesting. Oh, wait a minute. I did that wrong. So it doesn't. What do you mean? Hang on. If I go ticket dot sort, right, and I go ticket dot sort, homie, get out of here. Like, elemental. My dear Watson. So we stored our lotto numbers inside the variable ticket. How do we get them out again? We already saw that we can get the highest number with max. Similarly, we can get the first end or the last element of the list. But if you want a specific element, the brackets, just brackets. Ruby uses square brackets to target an element. Square brackets are very common in Ruby. They are like sites used to line up a target. Exactly. These brackets, I am looking for blah. Ready, aim. I happen to fire. Let's put our lotto ticket numbers. So, okay, puts ticket. May want to do this one, and then we just go. Nope, can't do that. Got to do this the old-fashioned way. Someone's playing guitar outside, I think. Or they're playing, okay. And he was accosted by a band of mariachis. Alright, so we put this in order. Why not 1, 2, 3? Well, is that some kind of Japanese Zen? Oh, come on. Are we really doing this? No. Hexadecimal zero based indexing. Right? A likely story, right? Okay, summary 2 is upon us, like Christmas soon enough. The holiday season. Who's looking forward to that? Anybody? If you try to reverse the number or do anything fishy, Ruby will tell you so. Ha ha! We caution you, fishy culprit. Arrays are lists for storing things in some order. We also know how to create arrays and get items from arrays. Variables, save a thing and give it name, equals, right, blah, blah, blah. Alright. 2-8. In all the 8 section, in all their 8 sections, you are 2/8 the way there. This is simple stuff, don't you think? Good stuff up ahead. Let's change direction for a moment. I've stuffed a bit of poetry into a certain variable. Take a look. Let's say puts. My toast has flown from my hand, and my toast has gone to the moon. But when I saw it on television, planting our flag on Halley's Comet, more still, did I want to eat it. Huh. Does it rhyme? Well, sadly, you hate toast poetry. Not bad, not bad at all. Actually, that one's okay. Okay, look, it's okay. You don't have to like it. Hack it up. Be my guest. Hack it up. Okay. Instead of toast, go for a melon or something. Try this to see the new poem. G sub. Ooh, sounds like something else. Let's go toast, and let's replace it with strudel. It's for programming. Okay. Let's go for munchies. Munchies. Hey, Scoob. Okay, ready, aim. No. Can we do bow in reverse? Not reserve. Get it right. That's what I did. I'm not reading the whole thing backwards. God knows what will come out of the earth if I do. Too much reversal. Reversal of fortune. So the whole poem's been turned backwards, letter by letter. I really wanted to reverse the lines, though. Move the last line up to the first and the first down to the last. Backwards. But not that backwards. So if we go poem dot lines dot reverse. Yeah, but where's lines? Like that's what I'm interested in knowing. Almost what we want. Ringlets of chain methods. Oh, delight. Oh, delight. So, what do you see? What happened there? You type poem.lines.reverse, and what happened? Two things happened. You turn the poem into a list using lines. Lines decides the way the string is split up and converts into an array. Then you reverse the list, and you had each line. You reverse them. That's it. Let's track one more method on the end here. Let's tack. Okay, I'm not dyslexic, but it is late at night here. Puts poem lines reverse dot join. Interesting. Combining methods like this is called method chaining. Yeah, I know. More still, did I want to eat it? Can I? No, go back. Okay, go back, back, back. There we go. Next, next, next. Run. Oh, I think I can't do that until. And I think I can just chain. Oh, I just want to see if I can like chain this and then do that. Okay, yeah, we can do that. This is a long chain, right? Toaster munchies. Then can we do? Can I just keep on adding G subs here? I say moon for Mars. No, get out of here. Yeah. Fun. Okay. So all of the summaries of all the summaries, 3 is here now. I'm really interested to know who wrote this. Exclamations. Methods may have exclamations and also question marks in their names. These are just there for to better explain what their function is. No big deal. As we kind of saw, there really didn't make a big difference if I put it there or not. I actually made a mistake there. String manipulation, search and change strings, so that's cool. Chaining methods lets you get a lot more done. Break up a poem, reverse it, reassemble it. Poem.lines.reverse.join.gsub. At this point, you may want to tinker with the poem a bit more. A complete list of string methods is here. String methods. This is why we have documentation, friends. I love how, look, I have nothing against this, but I just love how it's just like, yeah, .html. This is, yes, this does look extremely like 2006 style. I venture on saying late 90s style website. And I'm here for it, brother. I am just here for it. What are we working with? Please tell me we're working with jQuery. Please tell me we're working with jQuery. What are we docs? Oh no, it's written in Ruby, but Darkfish. jQuery. My friends, not only was I called it right, we are working with jQuery and Vue at the same time, so I'm loving it. Not like McDonald's, but still. Last time I had that, I almost threw up. Okay, so books. They want us to do curly brackets here. So in Ruby, what does that mean exactly? Made an empty hash. Ugh. Put a hash brown on it and send it to the internet. That is what we are all about here. A weeb like book. And yeah, we made an empty hash. A hash is like an array, only. Come on, guys. It's only an array. Only every one of its elements has a name. So it's like key. This is like key values in JavaScript. We're going to stuff some miniature books and book reviews in our new hash. Here's our rating system: splendid, a masterpiece, quite good, mediocre, quite not good, abysmal. So to rate a book, put a title in the square brackets and put the rating after the equals, for example. No. Okay, so they want us to do book. They want us to follow this method. So if I'm not correct here, we do books. They want us to go books. So we're just doing this, right? But that's not the square. That's not. Okay. Okay. So a bit more bite-sized review. So to fill up the review, you see the whole list and puts books. Again, the rating. Quite good. Blah, blah, blah. These ratings are not strings. They are placed. When you place a colon in front of a simple word, you get a symbol. Symbols are cheaper than strings in terms of computer memory. If you use a word over and over in your program, use a symbol. Rather than having 1,000 copies of that word in memory, the computer will store the symbol only once. More importantly, a symbol tells you that it is not only any old word, but has a meaning within your program. Enter two more book reviews. Use books.length to see how many reviews that are in the hash. So if we're doing this, this is what we're doing. So the books in the hash, we're not putting the books inside of there. When I do this, I don't know, let's say to kill a mockingbird, and this equals splendid. Because why wouldn't it? Books. So this adds living color. Now we're gonna do the Da Vinci, Da Vinci, Da Vinci, Da Vinci, Da Vinci, Da Vinci Code. That bad Tom Hanks movie. Right. He was in both of them, wasn't he? Abysmal. Books. Can we just leave that other one out and then just go down length? Because then we're doing that too, right? We don't need books and books down length, right? We put books here, right? And this puts the okay. So this prints it, but we don't need this here because we can go. Okay. Wait, did I like Gravity's Rainbow? One great thing about Ruby is that the names are often reused. used, which means fewer names you need to remember. Remember how we retrieved items from an array using the number puts to get 1. Right? So if we do puts books. Okay, so if you look up the old review again, put it on the square, leave off the equals. So this supposedly gives you. No, I'm not doing copy paste on everything. No. Yeah, well, that's how you get good. Splendid! This is turning into more than 30 minutes, and that's alright. Hashes is pairs. Delicious, delicious pairs. Keep in mind that hashes won't keep things in order. And that's not their job. It only pair 2 things to a key and a value. Yep, it value pairs. There it is. In a review, the book's title is the key and the rating is the value. If you want to see the title of all the books you've reviewed, you just go books.keys. Okay. Then I can go, if I wanted to add more here, I can go books, Fight Club equals, this is the Splendid, and then I can run this again. Did I screw that up? No, I didn't. There we go. Why? Spelled Splendid, stupid. No, no. Ashes is pairs. I must have screwed up the spacing there. Okay. Are you harsh? So, you're giving a harsh, so are you giving out harsh, unfair reviews? Let's keep score with a new hash rating. Then, okay, let's count up your reviews. Just stay with me. Type hash dot new. Okay, harsh. Now, I think that's going into the hash. Does that space matter? Dot values dot each. Well, there's some syntax we've never seen before. Not that. Yeah, there we go. Multilingual keyboards are great. Also, multilingual keyboards can be kind of a pain in the butt. Does that need to go here? I'm gonna just leave that as is. And see. Yep. Nope. Spacing doesn't matter. So splendid, abysmal, mediocre, 2. A tally. There you go. Always good to hydrate. One of the amazing new things we've just used is a block. I really want us to come up with a feature called Stump. But anyway, we're going to explore these more in this and the next lesson. But basically, a block is a bit of Ruby code surrounded by curly braces. So blocks, arrays. Okay, fair enough. Let's try another block. Times. No, I'm not writing Odelay. I'm going Snoochie. Boochies. Yeah, that was bad. That didn't work. Now, why did that not work? Because there's an S here. Prince remain non-method. We got time. We saw the first example of the block when counting ratings. Now we can pass the value to the block. Which values pass is determined by the method that is running the block. Right? The values received by the block are placed in the variable names at the beginning of the block between two pipe symbols. Right, so let's try this block again. So times multilingual keyboards are great. I'm not complaining at all. So 5 times piped time puts time. So time is our variable here. Puts time. So this method time sends the value of the variable time. But note that the variable time is only known within the block. Okay. So yeah, prints it 5 times. All right. Now summarizing part 4. We're halfway through, folks. I did not time this though. This last lesson was a bit longer, but you probably used up 3 minutes learning. You probably used up 3 minutes learning. Come on, at this rate, let's multiply that by 5. A little dictionary with curly braces. You called it hashes, but then you call it a dictionary. Is it a hash or a dictionary? Come on, Python doesn't do this to us. Symbols, tiny effective code with a colon. Colons are very, very important to check out. Like Splendid, blocks, chunks of code that can be tracked or tacked on to many of Ruby's methods. All right. So let's try our scorecard here. Books.values.each right now. So we're rating ratings in rating. That is this an iter? Is this the iterator? Man, come on. Try it one more time. Books. Are you kidding me? Doesn't even run, brother. Curly brackets. Does he even know how to use a keyboard? Ratings. just copy paste it here. Still don't run. To be or not to be? One other little thing we haven't really talked about openly, method arguments. Remember we changed the poem up a little bit, the poem.gsub to toast and honeydew, or I did something else. The gsub method needs two arguments, which we pass to the gsub by including two strings between parentheses. Arguments tell the method exactly what to do. Good old args. Parentheses. Actually, most of the time Ruby doesn't mind if you omit parentheses. So you would have to work two. Oh, so we can just do that. Huh? So puts hello, puts yo. Hang on. I think I know what the problem is. I'm curious if that restart was what. Yeah, that's still a problem. Huh. Yeah, except it doesn't work, brother. So, whether you, I don't enjoy being tricked, but I don't know. Probably I'm making some, so running. Probably need yo, and then we just wrap the yo. Just wrap the yo. So yeah, so we parentheses or no, we can probably just run it the same. Yes, puts is also a method. Using puts with or without parentheses is the same to Ruby, but the version without parentheses is a bit easier to read, and it saves you valuable typing time. So I guess the conclusion is that you can do whatever you like with parentheses as long as your code reads nicely. To be or not to be. So if to is a method and be is an argument, we know the answer to this old question, age old question. It really just is a matter of preference, whether you want to be or to be. Are you in the mood to read more Shakespeare? No, but I feel like you're going to voice this upon us. Taming of the Shrew. Yeah, that one wasn't bad. So you totally know how to use Ruby now. You wonder why people aren't adopting this much anymore. It's because you're writing it like this. I mean, you've gotten down the essentials, basically. I want to know how for loop works. You need to keep learning more methods and try more complex blocks. But there's one side of Ruby we haven't settled. Making your own methods. Let's get it over with. Next, using Ruby's built-in methods like puts, sort, and times. You can define your own methods. Why is that a good idea? Two reasons. To make your program shorter. If you have to do the same thing in more than one part of your code, it's easier to put the code in separate method. Your code will be shorter. To make your code easier to read. Good old dry. Suppose your program needs to do a lot of different things. You could stuff all your code into one long piece, but it would be very difficult to read and understand that code later. Ultimate problem with most coding is that it's illegible. So, yeah. Also, we do not know how to comment in this. Something for later. Instead, you should cut up your code in different methods and give each method an easy to understand English name. You will thank yourself later. So how do we define a method? Like this. Okay, so this is like Python and Tim tame. In Ruby, def leopard means define method leopard. Okay, you do. Oh, hey, okay, you done it. You're making your own method. You started with def, followed by the name of the method and a list of arguments, which the method will need. This isn't too scary and dangerous. All we have to do is fill up Ruby and finish it up with end. All we have to do is fill up with Ruby and finish it up with end. Who wrote this? I want to know. I want to know. I probably can find it somewhere, but I want to know. I want to talk to you. I have ideas. So let's see. Def tame. Yep. Okay. I don't know if it's the editor or if it's my keyboard, but this is what's I think causing that issue. Puts. Well, I just tamed true. The ripened fruit of your own creation. A new method is born. Let us now let us use it now. Let us now. Why not let us now use it? Writing. Tame. Let's do 10. Tame to shrew, tame to shrew. Give and take. Most methods do not only want some parentheses as input, but will also give something back. Oh, thank God. I've changed our method a bit, so it will return a value to you. Try it. If anybody's wondering why I don't just copy paste, that is not the point. I can't tell you the number of times I have regretted doing copy paste coding, and because it's like muscle memory. You can. The reason why I'm not a better coder right now is because I lack some muscle memory. Return. Okay, so we have return here. Return. Of course we have return. Number. Okay, so and so it puts it in that little block, and then puts tame. Let's do 1,000. Yep, and there it is. Tamed a shrew 1,000 times. But let's just do this as shrews are not tamed. You did not. Shrews are not tamed in rerun. Return. Since you're getting so advanced and capable here, one other tip. You can omit the word return from the last line of the method. Ruby will auto-magically return the last value that was used inside the method. So we can change the last line of number of shrews. But since the method times also returns the number of shrews, you can remove the entire last line. And in fact, our original method already did what we wanted to all along. So return. Can we? Don't think we can change times. Come on, shrews aren't tamed. Come, do it 1,000 times. All right, fair enough. Summary. Oof, we're 5. We're almost home, kids. Hello, who's there? And summary number 5 waves its hat. I have a hat around here somewhere. Well done, well done, well done, well done. Truly, 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 truly. Here's the last few minutes of your life in review. Methods. Methods can be defined with def and a name and have a name. Methods have your program shorter and easier, make your program shorter and easier to read. Parameters or params or whatever you'd like to call it. Methods can have parameters. Return values. Methods almost always return a value. Now, to be or not to be is not a question to you anymore. Are you ready for some more Shakespeare? I guess. World is our oyster. Hang on. I am going to kill our sound for. Well, I think we're alright. Just want to do a little bit of a check in. See what's going on. Huh. Yeah. I'll see what happens. Okay. Just checking in on the whole Twitch thing. Anyway, let's get back into it. Because I want to get through this. Yeah, we're not that far off. The world is our oyster. So far, we have been running programs that only use things that we have typed ourselves. That's nice. I mean, Oda Lang was epic. But this is the internet era, so it's about time we included the rest of the world in our programming efforts. Many, many, many websites are available that you can ask for information. For instance, the link that you currently will give you Google News feeds about Ruby. Fun. Your web browser will provide and display it nicely for you. It looks like a strangely formatted text. In the Google example, it is the RSS format. My old nemesis RSS. XML is annoying to parse. It is not impossible to parse, but it is just annoying to parse. I remember feeling like I couldn't figure this out. I felt it was outside my year and a half ago. Yeah, God. Oh well. That's why we learn. Anyway, back to formats. Formats. There are many other formats with strange names available to be used on the internet. Like HTML is not weird, XML and JSON. Okay. Yes, even this very website probably uses all of these. I have prepared a method that will fetch a list of the complete works of William Shakespeare from the internet. Don't worry, it actually comes in from the same server that this website runs on. So we're not bothering anyone. So get shaky. Yeah, this is JSON, isn't it? Noble kinsman. Okay, we have now a list of the plays from the internet. The list was in a JSON format. Fortunately for us, Ruby kindly provides a method that converts JSON data into a Ruby hash. How is the Ruby hash just not the JSON format? What came first? JSON when Java in did JSON come first or did Ruby come first? I'd like to figure that out. I'd like to know that. The get shaky method already did this for us. But since the structure of the JSON data is retained in the hash, it is still a bit difficult to read. Let us write a method that displays the plays nicely. If you inspect the list and plays carefully, that you will see it has a kind of nested structure. This is actually quite common in data you get from the internet. Let's look at this. William Shakespeare 1, titled Gentleman of Verona, finished 1591, supposedly. Title Taming the Shrew, finished in 1591, supposedly. So, to list the plays, first, William Shakespeare, hash element by the next name. We have to iterate through each element below it. Ruby has a method for iterating, and it's called each. Ooh, I like that. We have seen it before when creating our book rating system. Everything that the method each returns is passed to a block. So if we go s get shaky. So we're passing s. Wilhelm Shakespeare each. Key and a vowel. Vowel. No, come on with the bracket. Wait, we're in Yongle. For whatever reason, the keyboard gets screwed up and go between. There it is. All right, I don't need to do that. Brr. And we get what again? It's blank. Okay, hang on. I will be right back. I'm just going to, I think. You gotta figure that out. To anyone who's watching this, hello. I see I have 2 people watching, or there's 2 viewers. I don't know who those people are, but hey, if you want to say something in the chat, thanks for watching me ramble through the Ruby docs or the Ruby tutorial. I'm gonna get a little water, and then we will finish this up, and then I'm gonna end this stream with. I don't think what I'm going to do is read what I was going to read. What I'm going to do is read something a little more interesting, something I found today that I think will be a little fun to end with. But I'm going to finish up the Ruby tutorial and then wrap it for today. And yeah, if you're watching, sound off in the chat. Like, it'd be cool to talk to somebody. So yeah, if you like what I'm doing, or if you think I'm just a raving madman going through the Ruby tutorial, yelling at their quips, hey, say that too. Be funny. Hang on one sec. I'll be right back. I'm gonna get water from the tap. If anybody can hear me screaming about my water, let me know. Hydration, very important. Okay, so I'm trying to figure out. Apparently, bite rate's unstable, but so anybody tell me if this is not coming in right? I think it should be okay, but um, we'll see. Okay. All right, back at it. All right, all together now. All together now. Now, suppose we only want to know the names and numbers of the plays written by Shakespeare in a certain year. Ruby lets us select the values from the hash. The select method uses a block to let us define what to select and returns what it found. We can then use the results returned by select in each method as before by simply adding it after the select block. Okay. This is another method of chaining, which we saw earlier in reversing the poem. So I have prepared the count and plays method for you. See if you can find out how many plays were written in William Shakespeare the year 1591. Right. So we go diff count plays. Get shaky. Shake, shake, shake. Shake that William Shakespeare. Wait a minute. Yeah, I'm saving a little time. And doing that does that for some reason. Alright. That's what I get for trying to save time. Get shaky with it. Me. How truthy is okay. Do another. I know I've compared Ruby to Python tonight, but is Ruby more like JavaScript? It's not really like JavaScript. This is more like Python. Um, so okay, let's do it this way. Fine, you want to do it this way? Fine, we'll do it this way. is what it should be. Yeah, 0. Should be 4, but we get 0. Why? There we go. Okay. Interesting. Henry VI in 2 parts. All's well that ends well. All right. A little bit more. Okay, you got some data from the internet and selected what we wanted to print out. What is left to improve? We could print the results in a prettier, print the results a bit prettier. Like add the year and align the titles and years. Print it out in a readable fashion. This means that printing several values on one line. Ruby has a neat way of doing this. It's just like printing the string like, hi, my name is Jimmy. Instead of literal value of Jimmy, use the value of a variable. You replace Jimmy with a hash. Oh, we're hashing. Oh, that's fun. With a hash bracket. With a hash. Delicious, delicious hash. This okay. If Ruby has a hash symbol followed by curly brackets, it looks like a variable between the first brace and the closing brace. We can use hi, my name is name, right? So change the code a bit. So plays to get shaky with it. See, you just want to leave this on a line. I am happy to know if any. So we see this here, like it's like this. It looks like it is chained. It is chained together. But if it looks like this, it looks like you're separating the chain, which you're not doing, right? So this is what confuses the heck out of me every time I see this. Um, at least when people try to give examples and stuff, right? Because year from less than v. That's that's a bit of complication. And then outside of that, so you've got the two hashes. Okay. So I've just added the Elgist 30 to the title. This is a title is left justified. The minimum length of 30 characters for the years align nicely. See if you can change the title. Also, as well. Hey, we're not done yet, but the end is in sight. If only I knew how to make a decision. Oh yeah. Decision making is real life can be a real problem. Not for us though. Ruby makes it very easy to make a decision. If 1 is greater than 2, or 2 is less than 1, it is true that 1 is less than 2. And I am bad at math. Not great at math. But I forget the greater than and less than signs I've always confused in my head. Probably doesn't make me seem very hireable. That's okay. Uh I mean, it takes strength to admit a weakness. Uh, the key word here is if. If can be placed before a method or after a method. So puts it is true that 1 is less than 2 if 1 is less than 2. If is a method that requires one parameter. That parameter can be any expression that you want to test. The outcome of the expression must be either true or false. So it must be a bool. So here come the expressions. Dun 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 dun. True. Dun, 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 is false. Right. True. True. Expression forms can form literal. Yeah. So we can put our variables there. So what the hell do you want me to put in there? So if empty is false. Okay, so there's nothing to run. And now for the startling conclusion. Sorry, I can do that better. And now for the startling conclusion. As you see, 2 equals sign is ABC, the double equal sign. Truthiness. This double equal sign is equal to the single equal sign that we have seen before assigns a value to a variable. This is just general programming. C people, let me know if I'm wrong on that. But yeah. Okay, so byte rate's excellent now. If anybody's really hanging in, let me know. Equals. So this is how you know. Yeah, it's getting late right now. I don't really function super late, as some people might tell you. So this is how the hash. This has to go in here, and then the hash hangs. Variable. If else. Yep. Brain ain't working great, as you can see. Yeah, that's okay. Me hungry. All right. Me Grimlock. One too much mental. Okay. This is coming along wonderfully. This is the simple stuff for you. This is simple stuff for you. But keep in mind, you didn't really know any Ruby whatsoever, but just 15 minutes ago. Not true. Um, last step, let's tie it all together, you know. Let's make it chime together like a very nice set of glistening chimes on the beach. Magnificent sunlight. In magnificent, beautiful sunlight. We'll define two methods first and then take a decision. What do you mean make a decision? You make a decision. You don't take a decision. You take a decision if somebody makes a decision. Yeah. Seriously, come on. All right, question mark. So this really isn't. All right, I'm walking through docs. Next time we're walking through the docs. Me hungry. Hungry. True. And time of day and hours. Eat and what? Right. So this is how you take in the variable. And I said n. Much like C that ends that way. Hungry. Banana. Of hungry. I am hungry actually. I had a little bit of Fifth Family Mart before we started. Hungry. 14. Question mark? Nope. Puts I get stuck on stuff. So okay, now I see what's going to see what's wrong. If time of day eat and yeah, different new what probably screwing this up. Oh. No, we don't want that. Come on. This is the problem with in browser editors. If Hungary 14. Hungary 10. This won't run right. Yeah. Just leave that there. The problem is this one definition's not. It's not closing right. I'm not sure as to why. So we'll try this one more time, and then if it doesn't work, we'll skip it. It's not the biggest. Really, I'm more interested to see how this works in an editor than like this editor. All right, one more time. Hours. See, I'm interested to see looking at our if statements inside of here. N needs to be there. Indents. But it doesn't seem to be any hard indentation, right? So it's no, it seems like it's like Python if, because we go with our if statements before, right? Right. Do a little bit of a cheat. Everyone's gone. That's okay. little bytecode right there. If anybody can see that. Okay, interesting. Okay, so people are. Yeah, I should probably have been able to get this done, but lesson 12, false. Interesting. But imagine then, P puts me hungry. True. See, that's what I'm not getting. So take this out. Instead of coming up to here, put this here, right? And that in the editor. And instead of that, I don't know why. And this is the thing where I'm a little confused on whether or not if I can just go get out of this, get out of this, rewrite what I just wrote, and then leave that there. But inside the editor, for whatever reason, end is not going to the end, right? So we need to have that there, right? So if time of day in hours, then 12 puts me not hungry, right? And then it's going to return false. Else, right? I'm assuming puts me hungry. True. Now, I think that's the only thing that needs to be edited there. I could be wrong. Nope. And or dummy end. So it's not gonna do anything. No. Runs that. But if we take this out, what if we put just if time of day change that. And here I was trying to do something fancy. But hey, we got there. Cool. Okay. Summary number 6, which means you come so far. You're a level 6 Ruby cleric. Fuck that. I want to be a paladin. Ooh, did I say the F word? I mean, what a great job you've done. Let's review. Data. Always data, never data. You loaded some data off the internet, transversed a data structure, and selected values. Iterating. You've iterated all elements of a hash. You've changed some more methods. Pretty printing. That's not pretty printing. And if that wasn't enough, you formatted and printed some values in a way that was easy to read for humans. In fact, you made a real program. Kind of. If index file, for those who know. You learn to take control of your program with if and else statements. And that was the problem with the last one. I was having trouble with that because, well, a couple things. So, new hash. Like who hash? It's an empty hash. Not a school class, a working class. Are we, like, is the Ruby the proletariat? I feel like now with where JavaScript is going, I mean, look, the Rails guy got Bezos money and I'm on Bezos' thing, but are we, like, is Ruby getting to the revolution? Maybe, I don't know. Hey, let's keep on reading. Not a school class, a working class. You see, the empty curly braces is shorthand for a hash .new. The new method is used to make objects a certain class. Think class as in working class, a specific group of objects which are similar, have the same jobs, the same shirts. What use is a class? Burbalzer, trademark. Pending, of course. You just had a brilliant idea for a new. Oh God, here we go again. It is going. Every time someone has a new idea for a new app, is going to be the next instant messaging platform. Can we just bring back AIM? Call it like Anomaly Instant Message? You want an app where people can send each other short messages. Call this blurbs.tm. A blurb is a maximum length of 40 characters. So everyone's just trying to recreate Twitter. Let's do a mood setting too. Where to start? Well, you might store blurbs and entries in a JSON file, right? But how would you keep track of the content? Use Postgres of the entry in time was posted. And when you loaded the file, how would it look in Ruby? Would it be a hash or an array or an array of arrays or something else? Classes, baby. I really think you'll use a class. You already are familiar with classes. Hash, array, strings. Let's make a new class. No return inputs. So they've got class blurb. And I said end. Run, damn it, run. Seriously, come on now. Ruby people, come on. Like, no output. There's nothing there. Returns no output. What are you doing to me? The stuff apps are made of. We've opened up the new blurb in class. Now, what is your blog entry made of? The content, sure. Also a time when the blurb was posted. And a mood. Okay. Let's create a mood. Class blurb. Enter accessor. Content. Time. Ooh, I kind of like that. Mood. Still no output. Accessors are dangling limbs. Hey, good class, man. Now you got the Blurb TM class. The class identification. Sorry, identification. It's after 10 p.m. You'll forgive me, but I am going to finish this. Heck or high water. Yeah, we don't have that much more to go. And it looks like what I will do is I will cut the reading I was going to do tonight. But what I am going to do is finish this up. Somebody would say, yeah, it didn't really, it took you 30 minutes. No, every time somebody says this tutorial or whatever will take you only an hour, only 2 hours or whatever, wrong. Multiply that by 5. Multiply that by like 3 or whatever, however long it takes you to do something. Right? It's not really worth getting all this 30 minutes. Yeah, yeah, yeah. To be honest, so far I think Ruby's fun. I think it's a lot like Python, with a its own little accent. Python accented. Okay. Accessor. Call the method called accessor. The ATTR attribute methods are like a little which add little settings to classes. The attributes are just variables attached to a class. Okay. And a class is like a function, a bigger function, right? Think of it this way, where like it's holding up more stuff. Hooray! Oop. Think of this. Am I wrong on that? Is it oop? I could be wrong. I am happy to be wrong about something, except when it's important. Think of it this way: a class is like a person, star-shaped human being, human thing out there. Attributes are dangling limbs in different parts of the body, make up a body, and others parts can shake hands with. Now I get to go blurb. 1 equals blurb.new. Puts blurb 1. Okay. Mount Hood. What is that a reference to? Can anyone tell me? All right, go ahead and set blurb. Cool. Quickening it up. Cool. Your app is awesome. Hey, let's make things a bit easier on you. You're not going to want to set time like that every time on your time you blurb. You just want to type. You know what? I'm pretty sure Laravel also tries to make Twitter at the same time. But I also know Laravel tries to get you to deploy something. So, Laravel people, I'll do yours next. Maybe. I do kind of know PHP, or at least some parts of PHP. Anyway, let's add an initialize method to our class. This method is called the new blurb is created. The same time, you can limit the length of the blurb and the content in 40 characters. All right, so class blurb, blurb. Accessor content time mood. Def now y. String. Not sure if that matters. does that really work? Interesting. So you need to end, and then you need to end. This is probably the problem I was experiencing in the other one. And then blurb. Done new. Sick, bro. Time. Oh, yeah. You've taught your ass to reject worthless things. Did you see how inside you use the at symbol? So outside, use the time accessories blurb, but inside, variables we use the time now. Yeah, exact same thing, except they're expressed in two different places in the program. Create another blurb. All right. I like how they say we're creating a real new application. No, we're not. I believe we're doing a. I think this is why so many people get confused when they try to start learning programming. They do all this stuff within the browser, and then suddenly they need to, like. I see commercials for people being like, "Oh, you can learn Python within the browser. Oh, you don't even need an IED." Yeah, and then guess what? You're gonna need a freaking editor when you actually start doing things. This is not how you show people how to program, right? Um, I'm just doing this because it's easy and it's fun to just go through this. But all right, a giraffe is not stolen. Summary number 7. I really have been doing this for 2 hours. Aha! You're here, and all in one piece. We're still going to make your app real, but until then, let's review. Okay, classes. Everything in Ruby is some kind of object. Object-oriented programming language found. Classes explain objects, and certain objects work. For example, you made a new blurb objects, and these objects explain blurb classes. In other words, you call them blurb objects. You can use classes to kind of model real life objects. Accessors. So blah 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 blah. Right, and so you can do inside or outside, right, depending upon where we are in the class. All right, on your own turf. Okay, let's wrap things up, kid. Here's the last chapter of the gripping story of Try Ruby. Now that you got a taste of how it all works, how are you going to use it around the house in your grocer's freezer? You're a great person, one of my favorite, but you'll need guidance. Okay, I take it back everything I said. The person who wrote this kind of has a good idea for what they're doing. I like you. I let's connect. Let's finish your app. You have app entries, but no actual app. Right, because we haven't used Rails yet. It still needs a title, some place to store all the blobs, and a timeline in order to work. Guess what? We're going to need another class. Guess what? We're going to need another class. I've given you all the code for a new class to go. Just take your time to study it. I'm in no hurry. I'll wait for it in the next lesson. All right. Class blur Belizer. I will say I do like how this gets you to think. Will say that. blurb. Initialize. Show times. Oh, they really are using everything here. Puts. Need to keep that inside. Okay. There we go. And here. Oh yeah. There we go. So what's the blurb all about? There you are. Did you figure out all the code in Blur Blazer class does? In Blur Blazer, you have two methods: add a blurb and show timeline. You can use these methods outside the class, just like we did in the accessors, or the accessors. Time to start Blur Blazer. It's already loaded in the blurbs for you, so feel free to add your own. Right. We are no longer creating blurbs directly. We can use the add blurb method by Blur Blazer. Right. So we're looking in here. Right. Show, add, initialize. Right. So the title and the blurbs. So these things allow you to put the title, right, and put the blurbs, right, showing them, adding them, all that fun stuff. All right. We got my app. Moody. Fun times. That's all about combining. Some beautiful things can be done with the simple parts of Ruby, especially when you combine them together into new things. Here you've got an app made of a class containing another class. Actually, Ruby really goes good within this kind of creature. This is called object-oriented programming, of course. We have arrived at the last programming exercise. Hurrah! Try Ruby if you want to add some other features to Blue Blazer. Or Blur Blazer. No. Well, I'm actually about out of steam. But we are going to, because I don't feel like copying that, but we are going to leave it there for today. Tomorrow, my friends, we are going to get into some more on Ruby. What I am going to do is do like Ruby in 20 minutes within the CLI. I just want to make sure we're safe in doing so tomorrow. And then we'll do a little bit of Ruby from other programs, from other languages, for our friends from other language programs. Program language. Come on now. To everyone who's watched, thanks for watching today. This was a little bit of an experiment. Hope you enjoyed it, and yeah, hope to see you guys around again. See ya.